was like, all right, whatever. You know, I was still like, whatever, dude. And so I scheduled all the appointments that were scheduled. Like, I think I went to one, and everyone after that, like, I would cancel. I would cancel, I would cancel, I would cancel. And so Dr. Jordan, it was like October, like the beginning of October. She calls me and she's like, hey, she was like, you know, I just really want to reach out to you and let you know that what you've been through was, you know, very tragic and very severe, and I really want to help you. And, you know, I just think it's very important that you come in and you'll benefit from therapy. So I was like, all right. So my mom and my brother talked to me and they're like, you need to go. You know, this ain't no joke. Like, you need therapy. And my mom said something that really hit me. She was like, Crystal, she said, doctors don't call their patients. She said, Dr. Mandy Jordan reached out to you. She's like, that's a big deal. Like, she obviously knows that you need help. And so I was like, all right. And so I was still very standoffish from each therapy appointment until one day I was super exhausted. I had worked that night before, and then I had that therapy appointment that morning once I got off of work. And it probably did me some justice to be so tired, because that day, like, I just unleashed everything in me. I started crying and I was just like, you know, how dare him? I was doing so good with forgiving people in my past and moving forward, and this non-educated, you know, loser, low-life loser did this to me. Now my salvation is at risk because I hate him, and I don't think I'll ever be able to forgive him for what he's done, and he put me back to square one. And, you know, he just affected many aspects of my life. From me going to work, I couldn't operate. Well, I think I was out of work for like 6 weeks. It was affecting my income, you know, me physically, me mentally, me spiritually, like every aspect. Like, he messed that up for me. And I just hated him so much. And while I was in ICU, I think I left this out. They caught him like 2 days after the whole incident. But anyway, fast forward. I'm pretty sure that, you know, some of y'all want to know that. But anyway. So I unleashed in therapy, and she was just like, good. She was like, you're finally releasing all that. And so each therapy appointment, like, I would just leave there and I would just be so drained, like just so sleepy, so tired. It didn't hit me until later on, and I would leave exhausted because I was releasing all that baggage, everything that was holding me down. And I was like, I could tell the difference, like the slight improvements that I was making each session. So I was like, okay, so I stuck to it. Like, therapy is hard. You really have to dig deep and really feel those nasty emotions. You really have to deal with it and face it. But when I tell you it's worth it, you're just processing all those memories and you're being honest with yourself. It's like a mirror to your face, and you have nowhere to go, nowhere to run to, nowhere to hide. It's just you and your emotions, and you deal with it, and then it, you know, it's a release. And so, Dr. Jordan is just so amazing. She's helped me grow into such, a different person. And I definitely think we had divine appointments. And another thing that I've gained out of this was love. I don't care what nobody says. Good trumps evil all day. Good trumps evil all day. And love outweighs fear. Love outweighs fear. Stop living in fear. Live in love. You gotta love yourself first before you can help anybody out. And I know once I was home from like ICU and like before the therapy appointments, like I got invited to speak at like a Christian lounge, and I got invited to speak somewhere else. I can't remember where, but I was just like, I'm not ready for that, because I knew I had some work to do within myself before I could even think about trying to help the next person or share my testimony, because I was still dealing with so much at the time, and I subconsciously was thinking this. And it wasn't until therapy is whenever everything just came to light, like, oh, okay, well, this is why I didn't want to do it. And another thing that came out of this was just it's amazing what your mind can do. If you really put your all into completing something, getting out of something. Like, I survived death, like, but going back and thinking about it, like, I was determined to survive, and I did. And it just goes to show, like, you have to be careful what your thoughts are, because they do manifest into reality. And you have to listen to that voice inside you. And that voice is God. Like, God is in each of us, and you have to honor that. He created us in His image, and it's so true. Like, I just think where I was before the assault and how I was living, and my self-worth was